At 5:15 hours local time, a Ukrainian sniper from the Azov Brigade reportedly lay concealed for hours, waiting for a Russian motorcycle convoy moving toward occupied Crimea, highlighting the increasingly unconventional tactics being employed along parts of the front line as both sides adapt to evolving battlefield conditions. According to Ukrainian military accounts, Russian forces have increasingly relied on motorcycles and other light vehicles to move personnel rapidly across exposed terrain. The tactic is intended to reduce the vulnerability associated with larger armored columns, which are more easily detected and targeted by drones, artillery, and precision-guided munitions. Military officials say motorcycles allow troops to disperse quickly, making it more difficult for Ukrainian forces to eliminate multiple soldiers with a single strike. However, the lighter vehicles also provide little protection against small arms fire or sniper attacks, leaving riders exposed during movement. The sniper, whose identity was not disclosed for operational security reasons, reportedly selected a concealed firing position overlooking a likely route before dawn. After observing the area and waiting for several hours, the sniper spotted the approaching convoy and engaged one of the riders as the motorcycles passed through the designated kill zone. Ukrainian military sources described the engagement as part of a broader effort to disrupt Russian logistics and troop movements rather than simply inflict casualties. By targeting key personnel or slowing the advance of small convoys, Ukrainian units seek to complicate Russian operations behind the immediate front lines. Neither the exact location of the reported incident nor the number of casualties has been independently verified. Wartime claims from both Ukrainian and Russian authorities are frequently difficult to confirm because of limited access to combat zones and operational security restrictions. Changing battlefield tactics. The conflict has entered a phase characterized by rapid tactical adaptation. Widespread drone surveillance has made traditional armored assaults increasingly hazardous. Both armies have adjusted by employing smaller, faster groups that attempt to avoid detection while maintaining operational flexibility. Military analysts note that motorcycles are particularly useful for reconnaissance missions, rapid reinforcement, and transporting ammunition over damaged roads. Their relatively low cost and high mobility make them attractive despite their limited protection. Snipers remain an important element of defensive operations, especially when integrated with drone reconnaissance. Modern battlefield surveillance enables sniper teams to receive intelligence about enemy movements while maintaining concealed positions for extended periods. Role of precision engagements. Precision engagements have become increasingly significant throughout the conflict. Rather than relying solely on large-scale offensives, both sides frequently attempt to degrade the opposing force through targeted attacks against command personnel, logistics routes, observation posts, and transportation assets. Sniper teams are often tasked with missions requiring patience and careful observation. Operators may remain hidden for many hours before identifying a suitable target, balancing the need for accuracy with the risk of exposing their own position. Military experts caution that isolated engagements rarely determine the outcome of broader campaigns. Instead, they form part of a sustained effort to impose cumulative pressure on an opponent by disrupting movement, reducing operational efficiency, and forcing tactical adjustments. Information challenges. As with many battlefield reports emerging from the war in Ukraine, independent verification remains difficult. Journalists and international observers generally have limited access to active combat zones, while both sides carefully control the release of operational information.
Probably from a Russian scouting party, so they've been telling us to get...
Open-source intelligence analysts often rely on satellite imagery, geolocated videos, and other publicly available evidence to assess claims. Even with these tools, confirming the precise circumstances of individual engagements can take days or weeks, and some reports remain impossible to verify conclusively. The reported sniper operation nevertheless reflects broader trends visible throughout the conflict. Increasingly dispersed troop movements, expanded use of motorcycles and other light vehicles, persistent reliance on drones for reconnaissance, and continued importance of skilled infantry operating in coordination with modern surveillance technology. As fighting continues across multiple sectors, both Ukrainian and Russian forces are expected to keep refining their tactics in response to changing battlefield conditions, illustrating the constant cycle of adaptation that has become a defining feature of the war.
Okay, let's get back. Okay.
Russia has intensified its efforts to seize new territory in the Kharkiv region, with fresh attacks occurring on a constant basis, according to a statement from Ukraine's State Border Guard Service. Russian forces continue to ramp up pressure in the southern Slobozansky direction. The activity is taking place within the area defended by Ukraine's State Border Guard Service Brigade Heart, the agency said. According to the Border Guard Service, Russian troops have suffered heavy losses in assault operations in recent weeks. As a result, they have begun attempting to break through in new sectors. In particular, small enemy infantry groups are trying to infiltrate the area of Artilne, a settlement located near Ukraine's state border, the agency said. Ukrainian border guards are tracking Russian troop movements and eliminating enemy personnel and equipment. These operations are being carried out both on Ukrainian territory and deep behind enemy lines, targeting Russian forces at the early stages of their deployment toward Ukraine. Earlier this month, authorities expanded the mandatory evacuation zone in the Kharkiv region to include additional settlements across 3 districts. Meanwhile, on the Sumy front, Ukrainian forces have recorded a decline in the activity of Russian sabotage and reconnaissance groups in late July. However, the intensity of Russian attacks remains unchanged. Recently, Ukraine's defense forces broke up one of Russia's largest recent attempts at a mass tank breakthrough in the Dobropilya direction, destroying 9 tanks, 2 armored vehicles, and 3 BM-21 Grad rocket launchers, according to Army Inform, citing Ukraine's State Border Guard Service on July 24. The service released combat footage showing Russian armored vehicles being struck across fields and tree lines in the Donetsk region. Russian forces carried out one of their largest attempts at a tank breakthrough in recent months, the agency said. Border guards from the Phoenix unit working together with neighboring units disrupted the enemy assault. Ukraine said the operation also killed or wounded several dozen Russian troops. All that armored greatness was left burning among the fields and tree lines of Donetsk region, the Border Guard Service said. According to OSINT analysts, footage from the engagement appears to show that some of the Russian T-72B3 Model 2022 tanks were fitted with the Arena M active protection system, although it remains unclear how many vehicles carried it. Arena M is intended to detect and intercept incoming anti-tank weapons and has reportedly been modified in an attempt to counter FPV drones. Its presence, however, did not prevent the Ukrainian units from stopping the armored assault. The 3 destroyed BM-21 Grad systems represented additional heavy firepower that Russia could have used to support the advance.